Hi guys. Okay, so welcome back. I know it's been quite a while, but like it's nice to do an update. I've kind of been working on this, trying to get my previous dividend tracker up to scratch. So this is it's very similar to the old one I had. I'd done an update a couple of months ago, and the previous tracker had some issues. It was a little bit slow. Um, it was sourcing data externally, like this one is, except the websites it was using were a bit slow and often a bit inaccurate. But this one is quite different. So I'm using code to source the data. So I want to give a shout out to Useful in Useful Investing? A guy called Sean. He pointed me in the direction of Thinky.io, which is he's a coder and he focuses on dividends. So I'd recommend checking him out if you want to kind of get something similar. So I've used some of that data to kind of formulate my own. So I've changed a lot of this, and it helps me track like my portfolio to make it a little bit easier because I have quite a lot of shares. But anyway, before I start this video, I want to mention, so I have there's a free share referral in Freetrade and Trading 212. Those are two platforms that I primarily use for investing myself. So if you want to get started and you'd like to receive a free share, and I'd also receive one too, when you sign up and deposit £1, then we'd both receive a free share, and then you can kind of get started on your investing journey. So anyway, I want to show you how my tracker works myself. So as you can see, these are my shares. I've kind of divided it, so these are my US stocks. And I have quite a lot at the moment, which I do plan on selling later on when the economy kind of improves and things kind of, it's not as frantic as it currently is. So I probably want to sell them when they're at a higher price so I get more for my money, which is kind of hit and miss because that means the stocks are probably going to be more expensive generally. So I don't know, it kind of depends on the person. But I have my primary stocks, like for example, here you can see AMD, £745 I paid per share, and AT&T, 917. So the way this works is only the yellow is what I need to update. So a lot of the trackers I've seen online, there's so many things you need to update, and I couldn't be bothered. So it's a lot easier to actually track it if I only have the minimal amount of things I need to input and the rest is all automated, so it does it all for me. So as you can see, this one is AT&T. I'm going to stick this at the top so it's a little bit easier. Okay, so it's right here. If I change this to one share, you can see all this data is going to change. So the weight in my portfolio is switch from 10.2% to 0.28%, and all of this changes. Same thing, if I change the ticker, let's change it to Boeing, so BA Boeing, the name is going to change and it's all the data relating to it. So it's all automated, which makes it a lot easier for me to track and make better investment decisions. So all of this is pretty useful. I know how diversified I am because I know it tells me the weight in my portfolio. I can see the current share price and how that compares to the lowest in the last 52 weeks and the highest. So you can see it's not really far off. So column G, it's not very far off the lowest price it has been. And you can see actually it's been going down during this crisis. So I have these graphs that make it easier. It has a yield of 7.02. So all of this is automated, and the market cap, so I can see how much it's worth. I can see the forward PE ratio and the PE, and some little notes kind of helps me figure some stuff out. The outstanding shares, I don't know if this is correct, but I have this formula equals Google Finance, ticker, and then I have quotes shares. I think this is just general shares, it's not outstanding shares. So this is really useful because if I can get the outstanding shares, I can take that and then divide it by the market price, which should give me my fair value price. So I know how much the share should be worth, so I know when it's a good time to buy, which is not always perfect, but it's a good indicator to kind of make better choices. And I can see here, so it went ex-dividend, ex-dividend on, oh, why is ex-date, pay date? Okay, these should be opposite. Anyway, so the ex-dividend date was 8th of April, and it pays on 3rd of August. I'm going to switch this. It makes more sense, X and then pay. Yeah, so should update in a moment, hopefully, yeah, good. Okay, so pays on the 3rd of August, and this is automatic too. So I know it pays me 52 cents per share, and they pay this quarterly 4 times per year. The total in 1 year will be $2.08. And if column W fails, I have a backup, which is column Y, which I input manually. So it's going to kind of pull from here if this one fails or doesn't load, which kind of makes it a lot more accurate. And I can see per quarter, I get £13.71 from here. So it's converting my dollars here. And then next to this, I can see, you can see here, this is where I record my dividends. So at the top is the total for that month, and then I record each individual dividend per company here. And yeah, you can see, so it breaks it down, so per month, per quarter, and per year. So for US stocks, I get 58, so far I've received £58.88. Pence, sorry. And including UK ones, it's £80.14. So that's total. And I have this red column, this red section at the bottom. So this is for stocks that I sell. So it doesn't really disrupt my data. I put it inside here. And you can see for the individual US stock total is $292. So I have this for all my stocks. And then the same thing for UK stocks. Slightly different because US stocks, there's a 15% tax, which I've accounted for in my total. So I just remove that from my UK stocks. You can see one of my highest payers, legal in general. I'm going to put this at the top. Where's that? Okay, legal general. Okay, you can see it, it's at the very top. So they pay twice a year, and the most recent payment would have been £7.91. So that's £15.81 per year. I didn't have that much at the time, but I got paid £6.70. So on my next payment, I should be receiving a lot more. And yeah, it's the same thing. I know how much the company's worth, market cap. I know how they're doing. So this really helps me a lot to track everything. And I've also got the sector, so you can see in D. This is manual too. So it helps me know like how much exposure I have to each industry. And the other columns, so going here, I go my 2020 charts, so I can see this is the makeup of my portfolio. So I have £2,000 in UK stocks, and that's 18.5% of my portfolio. The rest, almost £9,000, is 81%, and this is all in US stocks. So I can see the breakdown from January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So June is my biggest payment month so far, and so many of them were actually UK stocks. So Legal & General paid me in this month. And this month just started, so August, 18 pence so far. I think my weighted yield is not entirely accurate because it hasn't updated yet. I think it should be at 4.03%. So this will change because it's automated. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find the data. So at the moment, I don't think this is loaded fully, but it's going to give me a roundabout idea, which is all I need. So the value of my portfolio is £10,973. Let's see, 77 changed. And you can see my predicted yearly dividend income should be £434 or $567 per year. And you can see the breakdown, so by sector, so REITs are 11% of my US portfolio, technology 20, my biggest, and I have the same breakdown for UK stocks. Okay, so same thing, I kind of broken down so this goes up to 2050, so I can compare by year. You can see January nothing, that's when I started, changed to trading 212, and then it's kind of grown, and in total this year £80.14, which is not too bad. And I can compare like my portfolio to the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Dow. So I can see how it's doing. So right now it's beating the S&P 500. And like, okay, so annually I get this, and then I can see the breakdown. So daily I receive £1.19, but actually it should be a little bit higher when it loads fully. And per hour, almost 5p. So it's quite helpful. And there's this. So I'm working on this. It's not really complete at the moment, but this is supposed to be my way of kind of seeing the projected cash flow and how they increase per year. So let's do that same thing again. If I change this to Boeing, it should automatically change this. So you can see the market cap changes, projected cash flow should change, all of this, so I have a good idea of how the stock is going to progress. Maybe my internet is not very good. Usually this works fine, but yeah, I think my internet's not too good. So this is supposed to tell me the final intrinsic value, which should be worked out here. And then I can generally like compare it with its industry partners and see how they're doing. So I input their stock here. And it's mostly all automatic. Yeah, so because my outstanding shares is not entirely accurate, that's why this intrinsic value is incorrect. So when I can figure out how to get the outstanding shares, then this will be correct. Well, for the moment, I don't think the intrinsic value of AT&T is $13, so this is not correct. Yeah, and then the rest of it I'm kind of working on. So yeah, let me know what you think. So this is how I personally track my dividends. So I'd like to know how you guys track too. So if you have any recommendations on improvements, or like you'd like to like tell me what you're doing, I'd love to know. So as I mentioned, if my video has been helpful and you've learned something from it, then please feel free to subscribe, like, make a comment, and I'll probably get back to you. And like I said, there's a free share if you want to join up to Trading 212 or Freetrade in the description. So yeah, thank you guys. Hope to hear from you next time. So bye bye.